It's nearly been a decade since I stood on that bridge. I think the girl that I was then would be kind of blown away at the life I have now. And I owe it all to Jesus. Hi, my name is Diane Boots. I am 27 years old, and this is my story. I grew up in a really small town in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi. I grew up in church. I went to church pretty much every Sunday. I knew I was supposed to do something with my life. I was really sick as a baby, and so, in my head, I'm just thinking, well, I survived all that. So God must have a plan for me. There must be something I'm supposed to do. But I didn't know how to ask God, hey, what am I supposed to do with my life? I was getting close to graduation. I had lined up a couple college ideas. So I just signed up for helping volunteer at kids camp. And the kids pastor that was preaching for that week kind of talked to me and asked me what was going on in my life. What was I doing? What was my plan? And I said, I really don't have anything. I know God wants to use me. I just don't know how. And so he told me, you should come to this Bible college at my church. And I ended up feeling like that was kind of a consolation prize because I just told him that I had no plans for anything about my future. So we packed up the kids' camp, and I was helping the district youth director, and his wife rode with me in my truck to bring some stuff back to the main campus of the churches. And we just talked along the way. She asked me about my life too and asked me what my plan was. And like in passing, I just mentioned that I'd seen this swinging bridge on my drive up. So I thought maybe on the way down, I'll stop. Maybe on the way back home, I should stop there. After we got done, I was driving back home, and I get this panicked phone call. You missed your turn, you missed your turn. And I had my GPS pulled up. I knew I was going the right direction. And he said, no, you need to go see the swinging bridge. At this point, I was just tired, but I was like, I might as well go back, whatever. And I'm just still talking to the Lord, just kind of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like he offered that I should go to this Bible college just to be nice. I don't know. What should I do with my life? What do I do now? And I got to this bridge, and it was an ordinary bridge. Just in that moment, I stood there and I said, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this life. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know how it can add value to this world. I really don't know what to do other than take this step of faith and believe that you do have good plans for me. And so I did it. I took one step forward. And then I drove home, and I told my mom about what I did, what I accomplished at the kids camp, and told her I was going to apply to this school. I really felt like it was still a consolation prize, so I wasn't really applying. And then the kids pastor texted me and was like, hey, I really want you to apply to this school. Please actually send in an application. The cohort advisor hasn't heard anything about you, so please actually sign up. And I did. And so I moved to West Monroe, Louisiana to go to Bible college and get a degree, and trying to figure out what it meant to have a relationship with the Lord. Because I didn't really know how to do that. After 3 years of Bible college and being mentored by some of the best men and women of God that I could have ever asked to meet, I was close to graduation with more of no idea what to do. And I had an opportunity open up. So I figured, this is it. This is how the Lord wants me to do my life. I'm just going to go because it's the first door that opened. And then I went, and it was a failure. After only a few months, I realized that wasn't where I was supposed to be. I realized that I had never even asked God what I was supposed to do. So I started writing down what I wanted to do with my life, what I felt like God might be asking of me. And I just wrote it down on some steno pad, yellow paper, and I just moved back to the college town, and I tried to apply everywhere to get any kind of job. I ended up moving back home to Mississippi with my mom, and I prayed, I asked the Lord, I looked for wisdom, I talked to people, saw a Facebook post about a pastor who had an open position in a kids' church. And I've always worked with children. I love kids. I pursued that lifestyle of like helping teach children about the Lord. He just said, I can provide a small stipend. I have a family that'll let you stay with them until we can help you find a place to live. We'll help you find a job. We'll get some connections. We'll find you somewhere to work while you're here. And I just texted the pastor. I was like, hey, is this still open? Is it still available? Tell me a little bit more about your church. I'll send over my resume. So I sent my resume, sent my vision plan for the first year of ministry. And I just wanted it to be his will this time. And so I drove all the way to this church and sat down for lunch with him and his family. He started sharing about the vision for this church. I'd seen the building and it was new to them, and so it was exciting and there was so much potential and felt like I was home. I didn't know why. This is where I'm supposed to be. And as I sat at that lunch table hearing about the vision they had for what they'd do in the future and where they were going, it was almost as if I realized why I never knew any details for what I wanted to do. I just sat there 100% bought in to this vision because it's what God had me write down on those yellow papers years before. The whole time I had no idea while I'm writing on these papers, I have no idea how I'm supposed to accomplish anything. We drove back to that house and, you know, the pastor's wife is between two car seats with their little girls. And she says, hey, so are you gonna move here? And I wanted to be obedient to God, and I didn't want to do the wrong thing again. So without any concern or any fear, I said yes. I knew it was where I was supposed to be. I knew it was what I was called to do. So I packed everything I owned into my little Prius and I drove to Kansas City, Missouri. I burned the plows. I moved to Kansas City with nothing. And since then, God's given me everything. I have a wonderful husband who loves me and serves faithfully at this church alongside me. I have 2 beautiful babies that I love with my whole heart, and I get to raise them. And I get to be around the most wonderful church, reaching unlikely people from overlooked places to do extraordinary things. You know what's crazy is on that notepad, I wrote down something that God had spoken to me in college. That was really exciting because I love photography. I love capturing moments and looking for those overlooked details. I remember writing down that I wanted to record people's stories. I know that God is big. Also know that God is big for you. And in some way, he's changed your life, or maybe he's going to change your life. And I know that if I look at all these testimonies and all these different stories, and I put them all together somehow, we'd be able to look at God in a clearer way. Like maybe we'd be able to look at God and say, wow, you really are more than we could ever imagine. And I can say that because I've seen you move in this person's life, in this story, in this way, and in this wonderful miracle I watched in someone else's life. Maybe if we pieced all those things together, we'd be able to see God for who he really is. The God who works all things together for the good of those who seek him and are called according to his purpose. I don't know what I'm going to do with this life, but I know that I'm going to trust God with it. And hopefully, by telling my own story, I'll just get to be a piece of everyone else's.